Hello. Well, today I'm playing Wizard's Quest. I bought this game on eBay probably about 20 years ago and had never played it. So I decided to get it out, learn how to play it, and see what I think about it. Kind of interesting. This old Avalon Hill manual was in the box. I guess from 1983. I think this game was actually published in 1980. But it's got some of their old games and prices in there. I thought that was kind of neat. Anyway, there was a few other things in the box. I don't know what this questionnaire card, something with Daisy products. I don't know what that had to do with this. And something about getting a friend to play some Avalon Hill games. I'm sure that's no good anymore. And this that talks about this new kind of map board and how to unfold it correctly. Anyway, thought all those things were kind of interesting. So, let's kind of look at the components here. We got these chits here are your orcs. You got your wizard, dragon, petition cards for the wizard. This is a map board here. And then got your chits for your individual men, treasures. These circles are worth 5 men. Got sorcerer and here it is, hero. So you got that in 6 different colors. These had not all been punched. I don't think this game had ever been played before it was sold to me on eBay. I'm going to play a 3-player game with yellow, blue, and green. So I'll get to the setup and we'll see how that goes. I forgot to show the rules. This is the rules booklet. If I can get it open. It's just a few pages, about 4 pages. Not too bad. So the object of the game is this wizard peacemaker has come to this land of Marnon and told the warlords they each have 3 treasures that they have to give to the other warlords who are going to hide them somewhere, and first warlord to recover all his treasures becomes the king of Marnon. So that's kind of the basic premise of the game. Alright, so the board is divided into 6 territories. You got the Golden Dunes over here, Whispery Meadow here, Misty Forest here, Field of the Fallen here, Ancient Forest, and the Crystal Mountains. And then there's 8 different castles, I believe, around the map. And then the regions are divided into what are called territories. And you can see they're each numbered spaces in each territory. Alright, so the first thing you do in setup is each player places one of his men in an unoccupied castle. So we'll just say maybe yellow's going to go in that castle. We'll say maybe blue will take this castle. And green, well, he'll go further over here to this castle. Alright, and then you will place 2 orcs in all the remaining unoccupied castles. I guess you're kind of just seeing the orc's eyes and teeth in the dark. But so I'll go ahead and finish that and come back. Alright, so I've got orcs in all the unoccupied castles. And then we got yellow, blue, and green in their castles. Alright, and then it says you're going to place 2 orcs in 2 different territories in each region. And the way you'll do that is by rolling the dice, and if you get doubles you got to re-roll. So in region 1 we're going to put 2 orcs in territory 4 and 2 orcs in territory 1. So there's territory 1 and there's territory 4. So now we move to region 2. We got 2 orcs in 3. Oh, we got doubles, so gotta re-roll. Alright, 2 orcs in 6 and 2 orcs in 1. So there's 2 in 1, 2 in 6. Alright, I'll go ahead and do that for the rest of the regions and come back. Alright, so I've done that procedure for the rest of the territories, and you can see we've got quite a few orcs spread around the board. Alright, and next it says the players will place men on the board starting with the first player. First player is just determined by each player rolling 2 dice and whoever gets highest. So I'm just going to start with yellow being first, blue being second, green. So each player places 1 man in any empty space on the board. So yellow, he'll put 1 there, and blue, say he puts 1 there. Green, he'll go there. Yellow again, maybe there. Blue, he'll go there. Green, now you don't have to put it, right next to, I could put this green piece over here. But I think from reading the rules, we'll get to this in a minute, but during your turn to get more men, you get men depending on the number of contiguous spaces you have from a castle. That's called your kingdom, so maybe better to put them closer. I don't know really, but I'll go ahead and finish this setup and come back. Alright, I think I found all the empty spaces, so got my men kind of dispersed all over the board, as you can see. We get to where we hide the treasures, so it says you pass your treasures to your opponent on your left. So you got crown, ring, and treasure chest. So player on his left would be over here. Green would pass his to blue, and blue's treasures, oops, that's a blank one, would pass over here to yellow. Then it says starting with the first player, who is yellow currently, takes 1 of the treasures and places it in any castle as long as it's not owned by the treasure owner. So we'll just say yellow is gonna, probably don't want to place blue's treasure over here by him, so we'll say maybe we'll put that up there. And blue's gonna place 1 of green's treasures. Well, he doesn't want to put it too close to green, so maybe he'll put it in there. And then finally green's gonna place 1 of yellow's treasures, and maybe he'll put it there. So then we do that with the other 2 treasures, I think. Let me check. You place in the same procedure, but you don't place them in a castle. You place them in a territory space, and you just can't place them in a territory with the treasure's owner. So yellow, he's going to place maybe blue's treasure in this territory. And blue's going to place green's treasure maybe in this territory, and green will place yellow's treasure maybe down here in this territory. And I'll do that for the last treasure and be back. Alright, so I finished that up. We got a couple of yellow's treasures here. They're probably a little too close together. Got 1 of blues here, 1 of blues here, 1 of blues here. There's 1 of greens, 1 of greens. And the other green, oh, right there. So anyway, got the treasure spread around the board. Alright, and then the final thing we do for setup is each player, starting with the first player, gets to place 10 of his men in any spaces he already occupies on the board. And when you're placing men, in lieu of 2 men, you can place either your sorcerer or your hero. So you could place, 10 men and not place hero or sorcerer at the beginning, or you could put your hero and 8 men, or your hero and sorcerer and 6 men. The only stipulation, the hero and sorcerer can never be in the same space. So we'll just say for right now, maybe yellow just wants to put his 10 men, and maybe he wants to be going over here, so he's going to put, one there, one there. Maybe it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Protect his castle, 9, 10. And then we'll say maybe blue, maybe he wants to put his hero and his sorcerer. So, maybe he's going to put his sorcerer there, and maybe his hero right here. That leaves him 6 men left. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll do the same for green and come back. So green, he put his hero out and 8 different men in territories he already occupies. And that's it for setup. Now we're ready for play. Alright, well, the first thing we do, beginning with the first player, is you roll a die and determine a region to receive orcs. So this is region 6, which is this middle Crystal Mountains region. And 1 orc is added to each territory that contains orcs in that region. And any adjacent castles. So that castle's adjacent to region 6. This castle and this one. Now, if a space ever has 4 orcs, that's the most it can get. So you wouldn't add any. So that's first player, so now the next player, okay, so that's region 4 over here. So 1 would go in here, 1 would go in here, and then because this castle is adjacent, and this castle is adjacent, and in fact this castle is adjacent. Alright, and finally the third player, region 5. And that is up here at the ancient forest. So 1 would go in there, 1 would go in here, and 1 would go in this castle because it's adjacent. And I think that's it. So the next thing that happens is called the Orc Frenzy. And in that, any orcs in spaces that contain 4 or more orcs will make an attack. And you start in region order. So there aren't any spaces with 4 orcs in region 1. In region 2, there are no spaces with 4 orcs. In region 3, there is not. In region 4, there is not. And in region 5 there is not. But then you go to castles, starting with the lowest castle and going up. So castle 1 doesn't have orcs. Castle 3, that one's only got 3. Castle 4, okay, castle 4 has 4 orcs. So then they will attack the lowest adjacent region that has enemies in it. So they can't reach region 1, but region 2, it looks like they could attack right here. So when you make an attack, you have what's called, you roll one die and you have what's called a range. And that's basically the number you'll hit on, and it's determined by the number of units that you're attacking with. So the orcs, they have a range of 4. So if they roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, they'll remove that many enemy units. If there was only 2 orcs here, they would have a range of 2. Now, the green player over here, he's got 2 units, so he'll have a range of 2. So if he rolls a 1, he'll remove 1 enemy unit. If he rolls a 2, he removes 2 enemy units. If he rolls over that, he removes nothing. So we'll do the red die for the orcs and the white die for the green units. So the orcs got a 4, and that's in their range. The green player got a 3, which is out of their range because he only has a 2. So the orcs got a 4, that's in their range, so they will remove 2 green units, and then they have to move an orc in there since they took that. Then they'll attack in clockwise order. So now they will attack yellow up here. Now their range is only 3 because I've got 3 orcs there. And if you're attacking into a wooded area, that player has a defense of 1. So the yellow player will actually have a range of 3, because 2 for units and 1 for the defense of the forest. And the orcs have 3. Now, castles, if you're being attacked, if you're defending in a castle, you get 2 added to your range, but because they're attacking from that, they don't get that benefit. So this is actually going to be 3 against 3. And they each got a 1, so they each lose 1 unit. So what happens next, I'm not exactly sure about. From my reading of the rules, I thought they would attack here again, but I downloaded a player aid from BGG in the files section, and it said that the orcs only attack 1 time and then move to the next spot. So I'm not exactly sure which one's right. Somebody can correct me, but I'm going to go from my reading of the rules. So I'm going to say the orcs are going to attack here again. So they have 2, so range of 2, and 1 guy plus the defense, so 2 and 2. The orcs got a 2, but the humans got a 6, so that's out of their range. So that would defeat the yellow player, and the orc would move in there, so now he doesn't have enough to attack anywhere else. And that would move us out to, there's 1 more space where we can do a frenzy, because there's 4 in here. And they would attack the lowest number region, so that would be region 4. So that would be green here. So they're going to have range of 4 against 2. So 4 against 2. That's out of the range for the green player, and that's out of the range. So when both are out of the range, the attacking player actually loses a piece. And then I'm going to say they attack again, so now it's going to be 3 on 2. So 3, that's good. He's over, so he doesn't do any damage. And 3, that's going to remove both of green's pieces. So that orc will move in there, and I think that is all the spaces with 4 orcs, so that will end the Orc Frenzy. So the next thing you do is the dragon attack phase. And this sequence of play is here on the board, as well as in the manual. So in the dragon attack phase, 1 player will roll 1 die to determine the region the dragon's going to attack, and another player will roll the die to determine the territory in that region that the dragon's going to attack. So we'll say the red is the region dice. So 6-1. So this is region 6 and space 1. So we'll move the dragon there, and then you roll a die to see how many orcs, in this case, that the dragon gobbles up. He'll gobble up 5, so that's going to eat all 3 orcs in that space. And now you keep doing this until the dragon eats at least 1 man. So we'll go again. So region 3, territory 2. This is region 3, the Misty Forest. And territory 2 is where? Here. So now we'll see how many of those guys he eats. 5, well there's only 2 in there. But he'll eat both of those. And that will end the dragon attack phase because now he's eaten some men. And then we go into the wizard prosper phase. And in that phase we'll be moving the wizard similar to the way we did the dragon. So one, if you're playing with multiple players, then one would roll 1 dice, one would roll the other. So I got region 3, territory 5 for the wizard. So region 3, 5. And what happens here is he'll prosper that territory. So this player will get 3 additional men because the wizard landed there. And also region 3, since the wizard is in there, cannot be attacked this round. Nobody can attack into region 3, though somebody in region 3 can attack out of region 3, but they can't. Nobody can attack any force into region 3. And by the way, if the wizard landed where orcs are, they would get 3 additional pieces too. It's not just the men. And that's it for the wizard prosper phase. Now we determine first player by rolling dice similar to at the beginning of the game. So starting with the first player, which I have is yellow right now, you roll, he got 11, 5 for blue, and 7 for green. So yellow continues to be first player. And so now you'll do the individual player phase. And the first thing is whoever the first player, or whoever's turn it is, which is yellow as he's the first player this round, decides whether he wants to petition the wizard. So if you do, you draw a card and see what it says. It says the wizard's going to give you 1 extra man, and you save this card for boat privileges. And what boat privileges are, when you're attacking a force, you attack into an adjacent region. The boat privileges lets you attack as if any space is adjacent to another space across the sea here of Marnon, or if you were across the river, you could attack as if those spaces were adjacent. Now normally you can't attack from a space where there's a bridge across the river, but the player on the defensive side gets a defensive bonus, but with the boat, if I read correctly, you do not. And you know, this place could attack this place even though there's no bridge using the boat card. So that's what the boat privilege is. And the extra man part, I'll get to you right now. So after the petition phase, you do the reinforcement phase. And in that, you determine how many spaces you have in your kingdom, which is consecutive spaces from your castle. So right now yellow has this 1 castle, so he's got 1, 2, 3. That's all he's got consecutive. So that would just give him 3 men. But if you have 4 or less spaces, you get 4 men anyway. And just like when you're getting your forces at the beginning, you could spend 2 of them. So let's just say yellow's going to spend 2 of that 4 on his hero and place another 2. And then you can put them in any of your spaces on the board. So let's just say he's going to put his hero here. and maybe one there, and maybe one there. So that's the reinforcement phase. You determine how many men you get, and then you get to make one attack. And then after you get your reinforcements, the last thing you can do is make one attack campaign. And so, you know, let's say yellow, oh, he may want to attack, well, where's he trying to go? Where is the yellow try? He may. So if yellow want to attack blue here, the blue's wizard gives him a range of 2 plus his one guy there, so he get a range of 3, and yellow has 4. Now the max, even if yellow had 5 or 6 men in here, the maximum you can get for your men is 4. But say I had 5 and a hero, you always add 1 for your hero. So even though he had 5 here, that would just count as 4 plus 1 for his hero. So his range would still be 5. And as I said, the sorcerer there adds 2 to the range. So if yellow was going to attack here, he would get a range of 4 against a range of 3. And we'll say yellow's the red. So he got 1 hit. Because he rolled outside of his range of 3, he gets no hits. So the blue would lose 1 piece. Now yellow could decide, alright, I'm going to continue. So now it's 4 against 2. He got 1 again. Again, he's too high. And even though he counts as a range of 2, 1 hit takes him out. So now yellow has defeated the blue space, and he can move a number of troops in there, just as long as he can move as many as he wants. You just can't leave a space blank on purpose, so he has to at least leave at least 1 person there. And that's basically how the game goes. You know, then it would be blue's turn, and he would get his petition, where he would petition the wizard with a card, and his says, oh, I forgot, I was supposed to get an extra man. I don't think I did that. But you know, this wizard would give blue 2 extra men, so when he added up his reinforcements, which, you know, let's say 1, 2, 3, looks like he would just get 3 also, but he would get 2 extra because of his petition card, so that would give him 5 men, which he would put out here. So anyway, that's how it goes, and you battle trying to get your treasures. And as you recover your treasures, actually I think these are supposed to be placed face down. I did that wrong, so you don't know what treasure you're actually going after. But when you recover one, then you get to flip it up and see what it was, and they give you something different, like the Ring of Power, or I don't know if it's called the Ring of Power. But if you recover your ring, then you get to draw a petition card. If you recover your crown, you get to receive, I think, 3 men and place them anywhere where you have forces. And if you recover your treasure, then you get to receive 4 men, but they have to go where the treasure was received. And if you recover all 3 of your treasures, the first person to do that wins the game. There's a few other rules I may not have covered, like if you're attacking with your sorcerer, in defense, he's just kind of like anybody else, except for, like I said, he adds 2 to your range. But if you're attacking with him, any forces you defeat are not just, you know, taken off the board. They're dispersed, so you get to place them somewhere else on the board. So it's kind of like they're not killed, they're just dispersed somewhere else. And there's a few other rules here and there that I'm sure I didn't cover, but that's pretty much how it goes. So I think I'll give it a try and see how I enjoy it. Alright, well, I actually finished playing this, and I thought I'd give some thoughts on it. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I think I would like to play this with one of with a group of guys and see how it is multiplayer. You know, I just played it solo, but I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it could use some updating. You know, maybe some cards for players to mitigate randomness and that kind of thing. But overall, it was enjoyable. So that's it, and thanks for watching.